Hiya. Okay. So I've made a couple of notes, and that's not my presentation. It's focusing in on let me see if my next bit comes, there we go. It's focusing in on some of the themes that we've heard today. My presentation is a bit personal. It's talking through my personal journey through academia, to academia, and I'm going to summarise my kind of 37 years in 10 minutes. I am focusing in on something that Owen Clark has spoken about, so hopefully providing some inspiration and hope. Professor Kieran Walsh as well, progressing a career in research in Wales. I'm going to be talking about some of the things that Dr. Rob Orford said, and that's looking at the whole person, and I think you'll get quite a lot of me in this presentation. And then picking up on Dr. Lillian Hunt's reflections in terms of inclusivity and diversity in a traditionally very closed academic route and pathway, which through my time in academia, I can see actually we are moving significantly beyond that. But my reflections are from my kind of 15 years or so. So, as you can see, I got J-Lo on the screen. I used to identify with her significantly when I was younger. And I will start off by introducing myself in my native language. Здравейте, моето име е Deni. Hello, my name's Deni. I had 5 words that I knew in English when I moved to this country, and they were my toolkit to the rest of my future. Here's Deni in the Bulgarian bloc, because I am originally from Bulgaria, and that's one of the last pictures that was taken of me before we moved to England, as we knew it at the time, but obviously it's Wales. I'm nowhere near as glamorous as J-Lo. I always wanted to be like her, but I think you get the connotation. So I'll take you back to 1995. We moved here in 1995. I knew no English. My mum was a doctor in Bulgaria, and Bulgaria was going through a really rough time. It was in the recovery period, post-Soviet kind of times. It was really tough. It was really tough for us to survive, and our golden ticket was that my mum was given a short-term position in the Royal Gwent Hospital in Newport. So we moved there, packed up our lives and moved. I went to a standard secondary school and primary school in Newport, and that's something that I am quite passionate about. Both schools were in kind of high deprivation areas. To provide an example, in my year when I graduated from my GCSEs, 27% of the students within my school passed their English GCSE. So there were big challenges, and I'm a real advocate for inspiring students from non-traditional backgrounds to go into academia and say, actually, you can do it. So I do talks at some of the schools that I used to attend myself. So I always wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be like my mum. But I got to my A-levels, and chemistry was an absolute killer. I used to hate it. So literally last minute, I thought, oh my goodness, what can I do that's kind of health-related, that's not got chemistry in it, because I can't cope with that for the next few years at uni. And I was watching a lot of TV at the time, and psychology was really popular. There was all these psychologists, there was clinical psychologists and forensic psychologists, and I thought, there we go, no chemistry, something to do with health, and really interesting, so let's go for it. So I attended Bath University. I had to get 3 A's to get in there, which was quite difficult at the time, but it was achievable, as you can see. So I completed a 4-year applied psychology degree at the University of Bath. And that's my first picture of me riding the pigs, which at the time in 2008 when I graduated was very popular to do. So my really pivotal point within my degree was that I spent 1 year as part of that 4 degree within a placement. Now, I wanted to be a clinical psychologist, so I wanted to go to a clinical psych placement, but hey-ho, there weren't any available. So actually, Professor Paul Bennett, who's now at Swansea University, but he was based at Cardiff University, was happy to take me on for a year alongside Professor Kate Brains, who some of you might know these people, as a 20-year-old undergrad psych student who had no idea what research was. So I spent a year working with them and actually focusing in on women's health research. That's the type of research they were doing at the time. And it really changed my perception, actually. I thought, wow, this is what research is. It's not about sitting in a lab and not interacting with the people. It's about actually going out and making a difference to those research participants. To cut a long story short, I graduated from Bath, and then I had a path to choose. Now, my path was slightly non-traditional, not just because of my Bulgarian background. There's lots of us that are not natively British. My path was different because my personal journey was that I'd been with my boyfriend at the time since high school. We'd bought a house and we were ready to get married. My options post-university seemed a little bit closed to me because I thought, well, I want to get married, I want to have children, but actually I want to go into research and I want to go into academia. Now, the problem I faced was that every single research talk that I attended that spoke about doing a PhD said that, forget about your life, forget about the next 3 years, you are in the lab or in your research institute, first one in, the last one out. You won't have any holidays, don't think about boyfriends, just this is your life, you will devote your life to it, this is you. I thought, this is the only place I've really heard that being echoed, and I thought, that can't be right. There's got to be an opportunity for people who also want to have families, who want to pursue their personal lives, just like I did. So I applied for a PhD at the School of Medicine at Cardiff University, which was focusing in on women's health, on HPV self-sampling at the time. I suppose HPV self-sampling. It was vaccination, but we had to change it. And it was a 1+3 PhD, so I did a master's and my PhD as a package. And I was very lucky to be successful and had some fantastic supervisors, including Professor Alison Fiander, Mfanwy Davis, and Kate Brain too. So I kind of made a full circle coming back to Kate. During finishing off that first MSc part, I actually had my daughter, Rosabelle, which was a bit of a shock to the community. I had lots of questions in relation to, are you going to come back and do your PhD? How are you going to do that with a baby? I had the perception that I wasn't devoted to my work, and this is the barrier I came across. Not from my supervisors, may I add. But I thought, no, I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish it. And actually, I'm going to have another baby too, because I wanted them close in age. So the title of my talk was actually Deni from the block, Eastern Europe, Newport High, 202, Principal Investigator in Women's Health. And that is what happened. So I finished my PhD with 2 children. They were about 6 and 7 by the time I finished. I did it in 4 years, not including my maternity leaves. And ever since then, I've been really lucky to work within 2 universities, mainly Cardiff, mainly within the Division of Population Medicine that has supported me throughout, and in championing women's health research. So I've continued looking at women's health, I've continued championing healthcare communication, involving the people we work with in our research, so using those participatory methods. And since graduating in 2016, I've started working full-time the past couple of years. I'm now a Principal Investigator in Women's Health from a Cancer Research UK funded Primer Award. I've got 9.4 million worth of funding from co-applicant and lead applicant applications and over 20 publications. And I must say that Health and Care Research Wales have been throughout my journey with me, whether they knew it or not. So my work has been supported by Prime Centre Wales, especially the Cancer Research UK application, which was successful. And I'm also a co-lead for public involvement within the new Health and Care Research Wales Evidence Centre. So my message to you is, hopefully picking up on all of those that have been before me, people take different roads in life. They take different roads seeking fulfillment and happiness. But just because it's not your road or my road does not mean that they are lost, because they've got different ambitions to maybe the standard academic pathway doesn't mean that they shouldn't be there, and we should be looking at inclusivity and including everybody within our research, but also talking to the people, because we are people, the researchers, we've got our own lives in the background, so let's talk to each other. Thanks very much.